Hello and welcome to Buckman's Model Mania. Finally getting back on the Moomin. Moomin house has been on pause for a while I did the wiring. Now I'm going to get back to building it. You might notice up here I now have a face cam. I think I'm going to leave that up there for until I hear people say, no, I don't want to see your ugly face. It's not going to be looking at the camera very often. More often I'm going to be looking this direction because that's just natural way to look. But some people like to see the person doing the videos face. So got the package open. Let's get the book open and take a look at what we're doing. Like I said, it has been a while. I didn't open the package, didn't do nothing yet. So let's take a look. And it looks like walls. So similar to the last time I did anything, there is the parts that are going to reinforce the inside of the wall frame. And there's some, it looks like it's just regular wallpaper, as we've seen before, but it looks like it also might be on a piece of cardboard. So we'll set these over here. Okay, it is actually. That's kind of nice. Instead of having to try and glue the walls, they already have the holes cut out and everything else, so this will just go in place where it needs to go. And then we've got 3 pieces of external wall. Let me go ahead and get this out of the way. I need to pause while I go over and figure out which one of these is. It's going to be this one here. So let me pause while I go get this, and I'll be right back. Okay, so this is the wall pant section, and it says here it was from stage 81. I couldn't tell you for sure. It's been a long time since I've done anything on the Moomin house other than the wiring. What we're going to do is we're going to take this piece here and we're going to glue these panels to them. Just double checking. Let me see. Hang on. Dopey me, I grabbed the wrong one. Hang on just a second. Okay, this is the correct one. Still has all the clamps on it from a month or so ago. Let me go ahead and take these off. And part of the reason I misidentified it was this piece was never installed. Looks like it never got glue. So as we go, I'm going to have to carefully make sure that everything is glued, because like I said, it has been a while. And I have noticed working with some of these pieces that the frames are not glued. Okay, this one is good. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to grab some wood glue, which I switched to in the middle of this build. We're going to, and I switched to it because it bonds a little bit quicker. And I can do this because I've got to work with the parts a little bit before we can put them on here. I don't know, honestly, could not tell you why I never glued this. So we got this part clamped in here. It's not going to be a big deal that there's a little bit of glue in the corners. I don't think. Well, maybe. There is a window right here. So let me get a Q-tip. Clean that glue out there. Not really cleaning it out, just kind of spreading it. So we'll set that there. And the next thing we have to do is very carefully take each one of these pieces, because you can see that it is flat on this side. It's flat right here. I'm gonna have to move this camera about to here. Of course, it's off screen. So it's way over here, quite a ways off to the right. I'm gonna move it a lot closer to where it'll be where I'm looking instead of over further to the left. But the next thing to do is bend each of these very carefully on these lines so that we crack the wood, but we don't break it. And I don't know if you heard that. It's a very slight crack. But you want to do that so that it will curve around the outside of the house. And I can show you, maybe, I'm not sure if the camera will pick it up, but see that here, this one is not done at all. This one, camera's not picking it up. I can see a slight sliver of the wood color through the blue. So I'm going to pause the camera. I'm going to take care of that on all of these, and then I'll come back. And I do want to show, this is all one wall on the outside of the house. We're going to get the outside edges as made it up as close as possible. I'm not going to do any putty work. I'm not going to repaint. On the inside, since this is lit, these pieces, cardboard pieces over here, are going to close the gaps from the inside, so you're not going to see them that much. So let me get these bent and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have these all tweaked that little bit they need. And what I did, what I've got over here is the first side that has the outside wall on, because it's kind of disheartening. Whoops. But the walls are not perfectly straight, and that's my fault. You can see there it is a little bit off. I'm hoping that by gluing these on with it pushed together like it was, that it will actually make everything come together. So what I'm doing also to make everything line up correctly is I'm taking this, and there are magnets that are going to hold it on when it's on the house, but I'm taking it and I'm just putting clamps all the way up. Truly all I have to do is the bottom, but I'm putting the clamps all the way up right now. Move my coffee, got things blocking drawers. But I'm going to clamp this like all the way up here like this, so that when I put the wall on, it will be in the right spot. And you know what? You double check. Yeah, that's not going to work very well. It's very important to make sure that you clamp it together the correct way. Actually, no, this is right. I think. I have to go look at the book and make sure that this is the bottom versus it is this is the bottom. I've got this one on here upside down. The way you know between the top and the bottom is that right there. Your double row has to be in the same spot. I do notice something though here. Let me pause real quick, take a look at something, because not sure what's going to happen with these two tabs on the bottom. I'll be right back. So I never caught that before. On the house itself, on the base, there's a slot for each of these tabs. So the best way to do this is actually going to be, and this can come off of here, that glue is set by now. The best way to do this is going to be putting it upside down, so I'm not fighting with these tabs, so that it's flat. And actually, on this side, it lines up perfect. Wow. Not sure what that was. I think it was FedEx delivering. So with this lining up like that, let me see what happens if I do it on this side. Yeah, this is the side that's a little bit wonky. But, like I said, it's got to line up. I got to make sure that everything is lining up correctly. And this is where I start playing with stuff and the video gets long because I'm working on stuff, looking at stuff. So we're going to work on this side here. So I'm going to put it on this side and hope that that's the right side that it connects up to, because the key thing is what we're doing is making sure that the edges line up correctly. Once the edges are lined up correctly like this, let me get all these on here. And it's lined up perfectly right now. Not sure. I don't think the way they did it was bad. Not sure it's the best way. And I'm actually putting an extra couple of clamps in here so that it's lined up just like this. Wow. Not sure why the camera got dark. Hang on. Interesting. So let me pause real quick, see if I can make something work. I mean, look at this. It's getting dark on this side of the camera. So I'm going to have to pause and figure out what's going on. Actually, I'm going to stop the recording and come back. Okay. I think I have it fixed. I don't know for sure, but that's really concerning. If that is going to continue to do that, I'll have to sort that out. Not sure what's going on with the exposure. But what I was going to say is, now that I have this like this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this glued on here to match the edges here, if I can. Just looking. The edge is not down quite enough. And it might actually be a different side that this is on. I'm just looking. And this was always going to be the hardest part of the Moomin house. But I'm going to line it up best that I can so that it'll sit on here like this. And close that gap as much as possible. So first thing I'm going to do is, I'm just looking right now to see where I've got to put the glue. And I'm just going to put the glue where it needs to go. And then I'm going to clamp it completely on here. Now I'm just going to go on here like this. Like I said, this is going to be the toughest part of the Moomin house because it is a round structure. And I don't know if it would have been better if the walls, the external walls, were completely on, or were completely one piece. That should be good to start. What I'm going to do is I'm going to clamp it down here at the bottom first. And once I get it set to where I've got it basically in place on the bottom, I'm going to take the clamps off on the side between the pieces so that I can come back and, oops, I want these instead. But what I can do is come back and take, see, nothing there, and clamp this whole thing together, as you know, without the extra wall. Which I'm going to pause the or stop the camera in a minute and go ahead and do that. These clamps should keep it in place when I take it off of the other side here. But I'm going to go ahead and pause now, or stop the camera, and we'll clamp or take these clamps off here in the center, get this in place much as possible, clamp everything down, and we'll come back once this is set up. I want to give this time to set up before I add these extra pieces. So I'll be back. This is going to be another one of those builds that takes several, well, probably not several days, but takes time for me to get it up, set up, and actually built. Being the same video for you guys might take a day or so for me. So I'll be back. Okay, let's see how this has set up. It's been half hour, 45 minutes, long enough to let the wood glue set pretty well. I think this is going to work if I can get all the clamps off. Just put a little bit of scarring there on the paint. Fortunately, that will be under the door frame, I'm pretty sure. Get that excess glue there, off of there. That, my friends, looks pretty good. Come on, focus. There we go. So we're going to do the same thing all over again. We're going to clamp these together. Make sure everything is lined up as well as possible. But since this one is already pretty well set up, because we're going to line it up off of this piece, I'm not going to use near so many clamps. I just want it to be lined up on the edge a little bit. There is a little bit here. Actually, that's right. I forgot about that. Because slightly off a little bit. I'm going to take this middle one here. I'm going to set it on here just to see if we just went straight with it going. I'm not going to be able to do a whole lot of shifting with it. We'll go right about there like that. We'll get it set up as best we can, lining up with everything. Important to get it pushed down here as close as possible, like that. We'll see how this comes out. And this one, no cross members right here. So I'm just looking to see where I need to glue. A little bit right there, a little bit right there, all along here. I think I got too much there, and here. This is a smaller piece, actually. Yeah, I think that's everywhere it needs. I actually got too much there, so we'll set this into place here. Don't want that excess there. Definitely do not want this excess right here. clamp it down here. I'm going to get it right here. That should hold it in place. A couple of clamps here should do well to hold it in place. Don't need this glue here. Got too much right there. We'll clamp these spots. And then pop these off so I can get to the outer edge here. And it is lining up pretty well with what was already there with the bottom edge. This is the fun part here. Let's see if I got a clamp that'll actually make it to that. I think this will come pretty close. Not quite. Let me bring these over here. That's what I'm looking for right here. Because this one has a long neck to it. Reach right there. Hopefully this one will reach in there. There we go. Key thing is to get as much surface area bonded as possible. I've got a little bit of cleanup I'll have to do right here. But for right now, we just need to get everything bonded as much as possible. I think that should do it for right now. So I'm going to stop the camera again and let this set up. Once this is set up, we'll come back and we'll glue this piece on, and then we'll move on from there. So I'll be back. Okay, let's go ahead and pull these clamps off. I never cleaned up the clamps. Didn't see any reason why. That one was a little bit far in there. So this last one, let me see. Yeah, I'm going to, just to make sure, it does show in the instructions how to color between the parts, but right now I don't have any paint mixed up. I haven't mixed any paint for this, the entire build, so I might or might not figure out how to mix this color. It's a little bit different color. Hopefully this will line up and let me not sweat it too much. Again, clamping it together just so that everything will line up. And it looks like I'm going to have to figure out how to make at least something close to this color because there is a gap there. Either that or sand it down. I'll figure something out. So let's take a look and see, and that's even worse. Yeah, definitely going to have to do some coloring in here. Or maybe a little bit of judicious sanding on some of the places. The only problem is the magnets that are in there, but we'll sort that out. Probably we'll sort that out on a HTM live stream. Yeah, it's not going to matter one way or the other whether these are clamped together, so I'm going to remove these set this off to the side here. And double check. Okay, yeah. And that actually does come over here. That's because it's a window there. Going to be a little bit of working with this to get everything to go together right. Shouldn't be too bad. We'll throw some glue on here. Got a little bit more there than I meant to. And I'm going to have to clean up some glue around the edges. Don't want the yellow on the blue. That'll give me a green spot. Okay. So now, more than anything, I'm going to be concerned with lining up these edges here. If I can get it to go together. So I'm pushing pretty hard from the top here. Whoops. That looks really good there if I can get it to stay in place. Right there. That looks really nice. Do the same thing here. And I did kind of the same thing on the that wall there. And if I'm going to have to figure out the color, what I will do then is sort out how to fill these spots just a little bit. Not a whole lot. Not going to be a whole lot of fill in there. Just enough to get it to come together well. Get that excess off of there. See if we can get a couple clamps in here. Sorry, I just realized I'm probably off screen. Not looking at the screen right now because I'm more concentrating on this. There's the Q-tip. We can clean up the excess there and there, as well as there. Get a clamp over this. Like I said earlier, they could have done it a little bit different, might have helped a little bit. But it's not too bad. Just need to clamp it a ton. That looks good. It will come together somewhat. Just not sure how much it's going to be a little off. Don't have another clamp for there, don't think. I used to have two of these. I don't know where the other one is. Right there it is. See if I can get that in there. Now that's not going to work. So kind of that's probably going to be the best I can get it. So this time I'll clean up all the clamps, but pause again, let it dry, and we will see what it looks like when I come back. Okay, let's pop the clamps off of here. should be good. Might need to do a little bit of cleanup there. So now we have the second wall, second external wall for the Moomin house done. Well, not completely done. A little bit still to go. So the next thing we do, oh, and I thought these were actually pre-cut. Maybe they were. I probably weren't last time. So what we need to do is cut out one of the B3s and one of the B5s. So let me find a knife. And we're going to cut just along this dotted line here. Let's see. Okay, that's through. And this one here. Like so. We're going to hold on to the rest of this because we're going to need it for later on for more backing. Okay. Sorry, my back was itchy. So we'll turn this over, and B3, once I cut it, trim it the rest of the way, is going to go into that spot right there. So we'll trim it down here and here. Once that's in there, we'll actually, oops, a little bit wiggly there. Once that's in here, I'll put it this way, it will close up the areas here. Come on. So I'm just going to put some glue on the back of it, just like this. And it does say to use wood glue. We'll slide this back in here. A little bit of glue on my finger there. We'll put this back in here. We'll push it flat against here. And I'll hold it here like this for a couple minutes. And then we'll do the same thing down here. And you can see where each one of the seams is. Here, here, here. And what it does is it cleans up those seams from the inside. It makes sure that they stay pretty clean. The glue flowed through. I can't really sand it. It is water-soluble glue, though. We'll get it cleaned. And so B5, we'll do the exact same thing with. I didn't think about it seeping through the gaps there in the wall. Come on. It's a little bit wonky, but I think it'll fit. Yeah, that will fit in there. Let's use a little bit less glue this time, so maybe it won't flow through. That's the thing about the wood glue, is it sets up pretty quick, or starts to set up. Still takes a couple hours to fully set. There we go. Hold that in there for a minute and turn the page in the book. So this, I'm going to have to figure out at a later point. I don't have dark blue paint, light blue paint, white paint, black paint, and water. A little black paint is, and what they're doing is they're having you make this color yourself. Let me see. not metallic. It's kind of interesting. This may or may not come out the right color. Let's see. It's not perfect. I think that was that one. So I think I'm looking on camera. Between the two of them, I think it was this one. You double check. I think this is the one I'm going to use. And what they say to do is tape along the edge here, tape along the edge here. Let's see, stick masking tape on the edge of the wall, paint the top of the outer wall, as in step one, apply. So what they want you to do is go here and here, and then cross the top and apply blue paint across the sides here. I'll do that off screen. Like I said, probably do that tonight on the oh, that's why. Okay, never mind. That makes complete sense. Instead of we'll do that off camera. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and tape it off, get this done, because you don't want to be trying to do this once the walls are in place. And actually, dopey me, this one we're leaving alone for right now. They're saying to do it on this one, and this one it is more important because there's the edge that actually sticks out. And then we'll put this on here like so. So I am going to go ahead and take care of that, and then I'll come back. I'll be back shortly. Okay, I have the sides taped up, and I actually went into my real colors as well. The Russian cockpit turquoise could possibly be one that you could use as well. But I actually found a lighter one in between the three. Come on. Between the three, I think this lighter one is the best one. So it's going to be a simple matter of just running the pen down here like this. It is an acrylic paint pen, so it should cover pretty much everything. Now, the dark spots are what only thing I'm concerned about. They also have you covering the edge. Paint would work too, but I'm not trying to mix paint, to be honest. That's the second time. I have not gotten it on the face yet. I keep slipping off there. And the big thing is, this isn't going to cover it, make it look like it is the actual original color. It's to cover it up enough to where it's not obvious the difference there. And then they also have you do the edge here. Hopefully I don't run out. That's actually part of the reason I have 3 separate pins, just because if I do, I won't change up on the same panel or on the same same corner or same side of the panel like I'm doing right now. But I can change it up between the sides, and the tops and the bottoms I think will be fine too. So there's that one. And there is some difference, but not a whole ton of it. Let's try the AK marker on the other side. I actually think this one is it's a little bit, a couple shades further away, but I don't think it's going to matter in the grand scheme of things. And I think it's easier to get the AK, get a replacement pen for the AK should I run out, because it actually has a number on it. This is just a cheap set of paint markers. These ones are cheap paint markers I picked up on Amazon. At one point, there was a big craze on HTM. Everybody was buying paint markers, and I didn't feel the need to spend $100 for these markers at the time. My wife bought one set, bought the play markers when she heard about them, and I bought this set through Dave at a little bit of a discount through some things that he has. That magnet looks like it's might pop out. And since this is actually going to be display only, the walls may never be on completely anyway. Okay, so there's the sides, and then you just peel this off. Let's take a look here. I keep looking in the camera. I'm going to actually look at it with my own eyes rather than on the camera. Either one works. This is the AK. This is the cheapo pen. I think this one is better. So I'm going to continue on with that one. Take another piece of tape here and just kind of, I'm going to start in the center and move out. See, top wall. Oh, it says the lower edge of the wall does not need to be painted, just the top. This is the lower edge. I was about to flip it around, but this is the lower edge. Those two tabs go into the base. There's the top of the wall here. And the reason the lower edge doesn't need to be painted is the lower edge is going to be glued to the base. You're never going to see it. The top here, the top of the house will be able to come off, and so you might see it once it's done. And we're going to just do the same thing as before. Take the brush tip and just paint the whole thing. Don't need to do in the spots where the tabs are going to go, because the tabs will be in there. Get this on here. And go around the side here a little bit. And the nice thing about using a paint marker like this is it dries really, really fast. So we're going to set that one aside, hold on to it. These can go back into storage. Peel the tape off and be done with that. So the last thing to do in this issue, okay, that's the top. They want to just take a generous amount of wood glue, spread it on the inside of the frame. Look at step 7 to see exactly, okay. So we're going to take, not this one, just double checking which one we're looking at first. Okay. It is going to be this one first, and it also shows right here that tab, or that open slot there for a tab to go into. This one's going to go on here, and this one here with the tab on the two tabs on the top, tab on top and the bottom, and this one will go right here. So we're going to glue this, making sure that we get all the tabs lined up, because that's going to become very important once it goes in to place. So we'll start here in the center. What I'm going to do is I'm going to glue it a little bit different than what they might suggest. I'm going to go all the way across. I'm not going to glue the outer edges yet, the left and right edges. I just want to get everything locked into place first, and I can lift the edge a little bit and paint some glue underneath there. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and put it on the edges there. I'm just going to do it a little bit thinner, use a Q-tip to do it. Use a fresh Q-tip because that one's dried, the glue's all dried on it. I just don't want the glue to squeeze out on the edges here, which is why I'm using the Q-tip to apply it instead. And I will be able to, if need be, squeeze a little bit more in these edges. So we're going to take the first one. And I'll do the first one on camera. The other two I will do off camera, and then I'll come back and show how everything came together. So I'm making sure down here on the bottom it matches the bottom edge and the edge of the tab here, and don't know why, but I got a little bit of a crease there. Do the same thing across here. Got a little bit of glue squeezing out there. Do the same thing up here on the top. Just push it over just a hair. I will be able to trim the edges to match as as needed to get the tabs into them. Biggest thing is getting as much as possible of the edge lined up here. And then we're going to push this down in the center. Get these corners lined up, because if these corners don't line up, I'm guessing that putting the windows in could be a pain in the behind. Come on, come on. That's not quite as far in as I want it. Ah. Let's try this again. And this is why I'll be doing the rest of this off camera. Grab a clamp, put it back on here. Just looking. Get one of these on here. They don't even have, they're not even talking about clamping it. That's just my preference. So I'm going to, as soon as I can, I'm going to pause the camera, let this dry, because this actually will be at where the floor is too. We'll let that dry. Let me find that clamp that's shot down here. And we will pause at this point and let it sit. Let it sit, let it set, and then I'll finish up the other two pieces and we'll come back and do an outro. So, last segment coming up. Okay, so everything is glued. I'm going to let this dry. This second level should be okay by now. Ooh, a little bit dented in there from the clamps. Should be okay. Window's going to go in there. Matter of fact, just so that I don't get anything else, I'm going to go ahead and take all the clamps off. Yeah, there's a dent there. But there is the first wall ready to install on the house. And I happen to have right here, let me see. Yeah, stage 90, we're going to work on that other wall. We're going to do the same thing on this wall here on the next stage. But like I said, that is all there is to do in stage 89 on the Moomin house. Getting very close. I think there's 110 stages, so 21 stages to go. Looking forward to being done. The lighting is done other than the attic, so it's getting there. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video, and it was in multiple segments. What is it? We're working on segment 7, and I'm excuse me, I'm pausing the camera or stopping the camera between stages. Like I said, hope you're enjoying this build. If you are, like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to be notified of any time I post new content. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of the Moomin house. Let me know what you think of my other builds. With that, I'm going to say, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Have a great day. Have a great day tomorrow. And I will see you in the next video or stream. Modelmania, hard work models, plastic modeling, wooden models. Buckman's Modelmania, hard work models, plastic modeling, wooden models.